Hello students, myself Dr. Ranjita Sinha, Assistant Professor in the Department of Basic Science and Humanities, Physics Section, Asansol Engineering College, going to present the topic named Introduction to Magnetism and Magnetic Materials. This is the third lecture on this. Subject name is Physics 1, subject code is BS-PH 101/201. This is under MACOUT syllabus. It is in module 3. My contact detail is ranjita.phy@aecwb.edu.in. Course outcome of module 3. After the completion of the course, the students will learn to interpret about electromagnetic wave equation, dielectric and magnetic properties of the materials. Today I will discuss the domain theory of magnetism, and with that I will also discuss which is eddy current and the application of eddy current and also the application of magnetism. Now the domain theory was proposed by Weiss in 1907. It explains the hysteresis and the properties of the ferromagnetic materials. Now the magnetic domains. A ferromagnetic material is divided into a large number of small regions is called domains. Each domain is spontaneously magnetized. The direction of magnetization varies from domain to domain and the net magnetization is zero in the absence of external magnetic field. The two domains separates by domain wall or block wall. The domains are rotated parallel to the field direction. Now this is the figure of the domain. So these are the each domain. So this is one domain, this is another. So this is the domain structure of the ferromagnetic material that is shown. So large number of region it is divided. This is one region, this is another region, this is another region. These are each domains, and each domain is spontaneously magnetized. This domain is spontaneously magnetized. This domain is spontaneously magnetized, and they are separated by domain walls. Explanation of the magnetic domain. A magnetic domain is a region within a magnetic material in which the magnetization is in a uniform direction. This means that the individual magnetic domains of the atoms are aligned with one another and they point in the same direction. When cooled below a temperature called the Curie temperature, the magnetization of a piece of ferromagnetic material spontaneously divides into many small regions called magnetic domains. The magnetization within each domain points in a uniform direction, but the magnetization of different domains may point in different directions. Magnetic domain structure is responsible for the magnetic behavior of ferromagnetic materials like iron, nickel, cobalt and their alloys, and ferrimagnetic materials like ferrite. This includes the formation of permanent magnets and the attraction of ferromagnetic materials to a magnetic field. The regions separating magnetic domains are called the domain walls, where the magnetization rotates coherently from the direction in one domain to that in the next domain. The study of magnetic domains is called micromagnetics. The magnetic domains form in materials which have magnetic ordering, that is, their dipoles spontaneously align due to the exchange interaction. There are ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, paramagnetic and diamagnetic materials in which the dipoles align in response to an external field but do not spontaneously align, do not have magnetic domains. Now next we are going to discuss why domain forms. The reason a piece of magnetic material such as iron spontaneously divides into separate domains rather than exist in a state with magnetization in the same direction throughout the material is to minimize its internal energy. A large region of ferromagnetic material with a constant magnetization throughout will create a large magnetic field extending into the space outside itself. Diagram A in right side. So this is the diagram A. This requires a lot of magnetostatic energy stored in the field. To reduce this energy, the sample can split into two domains with the magnetization in opposite directions in each domain. Diagram B. So it is divided in two domains and it is shown as diagram B. The magnetic field lines pass in loops in opposite directions through the domain, reducing the field outside the material. To reduce the field energy further, each of these domains can split also, resulting in smaller parallel domains with magnetization in alternating directions, with smaller amounts of field outside the material. So this is the third case. The domain structure of actual magnetic materials does not usually form by the process of large domains splitting into smaller ones as described here. When a sample is cooled below the Curie temperature, for example, the equilibrium domain configuration simply appears, but domains can split, and the description of domain splitting is often used to reveal the energy trade-offs in domain formation. The above would seem to suggest that every piece of ferromagnetic material should have a strong magnetic field, since all the spins are aligned, yet iron and other ferromagnets are often found in an unmagnetized state. The reason for this is that a bulk piece of ferromagnetic material is divided into tiny regions called magnetic domains, also known as Weiss domains. Within each domain, the spins are aligned, but if the bulk material is in its lowest energy configuration, that is unmagnetized, the spins of the separate domains point in different directions and their magnetic fields cancel out. So the object has no net large-scale magnetic field. Ferromagnetic materials spontaneously divide into magnetic domains because the exchange interaction is a short-range force. So over long distance of many atoms, the tendency of the magnetic dipoles to reduce their energy by orienting the opposite directions wins out. If all the dipoles in a piece of ferromagnetic material are aligned parallel, it creates a large magnetic field extending into the space around it. This contains a lot of magnetostatic energy. The material can reduce this energy by splitting into many domains pointing in different directions. So the magnetic field is confined to small local fields in the material, reducing the volume of the field. The domains are separated by thin domain walls, a number of molecules thick, in which the direction of magnetization of the dipoles rotates smoothly from one domain directions to the other. Now this is the curved micrograph of metal surface showing magnetic domains with red and green stripes denoting opposite magnetization directions. In this slide, I will discuss what is eddy current and what is eddy current loss. When an alternating magnetic field is applied to a magnetic material, an EMF is induced in the material itself according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Since the magnetic material is a conducting material, these EMFs circulate current within the body of the material. These circulating currents are called the eddy currents. They will occur when the conductor experiences a changing magnetic field. As these currents are not responsible for doing any useful work and it produces a loss, that is I square R, in the magnetic material, it is known as eddy current loss. Similar to hysteresis loss, eddy current loss also increases the temperature of the magnetic material. The hysteresis and the eddy current losses in a magnetic material are also known by the name iron losses or core losses or magnetic losses. So this is the figure for the current. It is shown here. So this is the changing flux, this is eddy current and laminated magnetic core shown here. A cross-sectional view of the magnetic core is shown in the figure. When the changing flux links with the core itself, it induces EMF in the core, which in turn sets up the circulating current called the eddy current. And this current in return produces a loss called eddy current loss, that is I square R loss, where I is the value of the current and R is the resistance of the eddy current path. If the core is made up of solid iron of larger cross-sectional area, the magnitude of the current will be very large and hence losses will be high. To reduce the eddy current loss, mainly there are two methods. By reducing the magnitude of the eddy current, the magnitude of the current can be reduced by splitting the solid core into thin sheets called laminations in the plane parallel to the magnetic field. So this is the laminated magnetic core. Each lamination is insulated from the other by a thin layer of coating of varnish or oxide film. By laminating the core, the area of each section is reduced and hence the induced EMF also reduces. As the area through which the current is passed is smaller, the resistance of eddy current path increases. The eddy current loss is also reduced by using a magnetic material having a higher value of resistivity like silicon steel. Application of eddy current. Advanced portable eddy current flaw detectors inspect metallic parts and perform highly reliable flaw detection of surface and near surface defects. A full range of portable flaw detectors is available to serve the broadest range of applications. Eddy current probes generate magnetic fields that induce current that flows in a test pace, influencing the magnetic field and magnitude and phase of voltage in a coil. Applications include the detection of surface or surface defects, alloy sorting, and the inspection of bolt holes. Applications of electromagnetism. A branch of physics deals with electric current or fields and magnetic fields and their interaction on substance or matter is called electromagnetism. Electromagnetism has created a great revolution in the field of engineering applications. In addition, this caused a great impact on various fields such as medical, industrial, space, etc. We can find enormous practical application of electromagnetism in everyday life, from domestic appliances to research applications. In domestic appliances, we can observe the phenomena of lighting, heating, and kitchen appliances. In communication systems, this exists in all telecommunication equipments and communication networks. In industrial systems, this can be applied in motors, generator, sensor, actuator devices, etc. Household appliances. Electromagnetism serves as a basic principle of working for many of the home appliances in household applications. These applications include lighting, kitchen appliances, air conditioning system, etc. Security systems use locking systems for doors, which are generally magnetic locking systems. These systems are unlocked either by a magnet card sweeping or having a security code. Magnetic card reader on the doors reads the number of keys stored in the magnetic tape of the card. When keys stored in memory matches with the data on the card, then the door opens. Industrial applications. Most of the instruments or devices used in industries are based on electromagnetism. Materials used in constructing such devices include iron, cobalt, nickel, etc., which naturally respond to the magnetic fields. Starting from small control instruments to the large power equipments, the electromagnetism is used at least at one stage of the working. Various sensors and actuating devices are works based on electromagnetism. Electromagnetic sensors include Hall effect sensors, magneto-resistive sensors, flux gate sensors, etc. These sensors convert the physical quantity such as flow, pressure, level, proximity, etc. into an electrical signal. Actuators are the final control elements which drives the load at specific conditions. These actuator devices include solenoid valves, relays, motors, etc. And these works on the principle of electromagnetism. Magnetic levitation trains. This is the modern technology of transportation systems that use the concept of electromagnetism. These are called as high-speed trains which use powerful electromagnets to develop the speed. The figure shows the EMS magnetic levitation system in which electromagnets are attached to the body of the train and are powered by the batteries in the train. The guideway consists of electromagnetic coils built on the surface of the track. These coils are constructed with core material and core windings. When the electromagnets are energized, the train will be levitated by the attractive force between the electromagnets and the coils. Hence, this type of systems needs a large electrical power source, electromagnetic coils lining a guideway and guidance magnets attached to the underside of the train. So this is the guidance magnet here, shown here. This is the guideway and support magnet is this. So this is the train. This is the magnetic levitation train. That is the application of electromagnetism. Concept of electromagnetism is used here for this type of trains. Next, communication system. It is the process of transmitting information from a source to a receiver. This transmission of energy over long distances is carried out through electromagnetic waves in high frequencies. These waves are also called as microwaves or high frequency radio waves. Suppose in case of mobile phones, sound energy is converted into electromagnetic energy. By using radio transmitters, this electromagnetic energy is transferred to the receiver. At the receiver, these electromagnetic waves are again transformed back into sound energy. So this is used in communication system. Electromagnetic fields produced by the time-varying sources are propagated through a waveguide or transmission line. And electromagnetic wave radiation is formed when these electromagnetic fields are propagated away from the sources without any connection or conducting medium to the sources. An electromagnetic spectrum consists of different range of all possible wavelength or frequencies of electromagnetic radiation. These frequency ranges include low frequency, ultra low frequency, medium frequency, high frequency, ultra high frequency, super high frequency, etc. Now the application in medical system. Nowadays, electromagnetic fields play a key role in advanced medical equipment such as hyperthermia, treatments for cancer, implants, and magnetic resonance imaging, that is MRI. RF range frequencies are mostly used in medical applications. In MRI scan, sophisticated equipment works based on the electromagnetism, can scan minute details of the human body. The electromagnetic therapy is an alternate form of medicine which claims to treat the disease by applying pulsed electromagnetic fields or electromagnetic radiation to the body. This type of treatment is used for a wide range of ailments such as nervous disorders, diabetes, spinal cord injuries, ulcers, asthma, etc. Many of the medical equipment such as scanners, X-ray equipments and other equipments uses electromagnetism principle for their functioning. These are the reference books. Students can follow these books for this chapter, magnetism, and the magnetic materials. Magnetism and magnetic materials, that is by J.C. Anderson. Magnetism and magnetic materials by J.M.D. Coe. Introduction to magnetism and magnetic materials by David C. Giles. Introduction to magnetic materials by B.D. Kaliti and C.D. Graham. So these books are very important books. So students can follow these books. I am ending my discussion for today. Thank you very much for listening my lecture. If any student has any queries, then contact in my official email ID, which is given in the first slide. Thank you very much to all.